Hi, I'm Tim Williams of Dwyer Williams Potter Accident Injury Attorneys. I'm the lead litigation attorney here at the firm. You know, the shoulder can become easily injured, and one of the most common injuries we see is what's called a rotator cuff tear. And we see this when, for example, there's a force applied to the outside of the shoulder. So let's say a car smashes into you and you're a passenger and the door hits you in the shoulder. That can cause a rotator cuff tear. Or, for example, a premises liability situation where there's ice on the steps and you fall down the steps and you fall into the ground either to the side or to the front. That can cause a rotator cuff tear. So what is a rotator cuff tear? This model will help us see that. Here we have the shoulder. This is your collarbone. This right here is your shoulder blade. And over here we have the arm bone where it connects into the shoulder blade itself. And you can see there are several muscles that attach to the arm bone, and that's what holds it into place and helps move it. And this is where these muscles attach. This is called your rotator cuff. There's really four main muscles, four main attachments. And when you have a rotator cuff tear, it's actually the tearing of one of these muscles where they attach off of the arm bone itself. You can have a partial tear or a full tear. And when you have a full tear, that means it's torn all the way across, and so that muscle no longer attaches to the arm bone. It no longer does its job. It can be incredibly painful and debilitating and limit your activities. So how do we fix a rotator cuff tear? Well, if it's a partial tear, what the doctors may do is simply send you to physical therapy, strengthen these other muscles around it, and so long as it's not too painful, avoid surgery. But if we have a full tear, that's when the doctors come in, that's when the surgeons come in, and they perform surgery on your shoulder. What they essentially do is they drill little holes in your arm bone, and they suture or use wire to reattach this portion of the muscle here back to the arm bone itself. And it's a slow healing process. It generally takes 6 months or so before you're feeling up to snuff. Now, part of the problem with rotator cuff tear as well that I might want to add is that we can have partial tears or even full tears as a part of the aging process and never even realize it. So they're not always painful. And insurance companies use that to argue, well, it was probably there anyways, and therefore we shouldn't have to pay. And that's when you need the help of a lawyer to be sure that your injury is fully compensated and you're able to pay for the surgery that's necessitated out of whatever accident you're involved in. So if you have a rotator cuff tear, the insurance company is going to fight you tooth and nail. They're going to argue that it wasn't related, that it's a minor injury, that you don't really need the surgery, or that it was there anyways. That's where we come in. That's where you need a lawyer to advocate for you, to fight for you in your corner.